From the little monkey in overalls enjoying a yogurt under the nose of a cat to the young man surfing with his dog, here are some nice moments you could watch forever. Not much is known about the man you're about to see and admire in a few seconds. What we do know is that he has a fascinating and rare talent, and his prowess is as pleasing to watch as it is impossible to imitate. This man seems to be the embodiment of the character Scorpion from the Mortal Kombat series. His spectacular art consists in handling with perfect dexterity a dart attached to a rope and piercing targets with his instrument by the mere handling of this rope. To achieve this almost choreographic ease, he had to train hard, and the result is fascinating, even hypnotizing. At real speed or in slow motion, his movements are as precise as they are graceful, and we only wish he had worn a ninja disguise before performing this tour de force. In the images you see, this man manages, with admirable skill, to pierce various targets with his rope dart, either by throwing them in the air or by placing them on a wooden support. Of course, in this sequence, he doesn't miss any of his shots, from the seemingly easy to the spectacular. But seeing his perfect control and his smooth and harmonious movements, it is hard to imagine that he missed the mark several times before succeeding. He is a master in this field, and one can regret for him that there is no kind of sport discipline where he could deploy these original abilities. But one hopes that he will not be discouraged and he will get the fame that he deserves by being invited to the programs of shows. Have you ever heard of Letitia Key? Surely because she is very followed on social networks, and she distinguishes herself by very original creations. Originally from the Ivory Coast, this young feminist woman creates all kinds of sculptures and artistic figures using a single instrument, her hair. At the age of 15, she obtained a literary baccalaureate, after which she turned to commercial studies while becoming increasingly interested in fashion and the beauty industry. Later, she developed the unique talent that makes her popular today, making her hair a kind of modeling clay to shape all kinds of figures. Saxophone, candlestick, umbrella, bicycle, scales. There is nothing she cannot do with her braided hair. Often, to consolidate the shape, she incorporates some materials, for example, wires, hangers, and hair extensions. In the backstage of this TikTok video, the Ivorian artist reveals her technique to make this time a jump rope. Her way of doing is really interesting. She starts by braiding the right part of her hair, then the left part. As you can imagine, her hair is still too short to be used as a jump rope. So Letitia uses hair extensions, similar to her natural hair, which she ties on both sides of her hair. Now the result starts to take shape, and the length of the two sides is such that her arms have difficulty to make the braiding, and she has to help herself with the door handle. Now that the two parts of her hair are down to her feet, all that remains is to undertake the last step, joining the two sides. Once the task is done, Letitia starts to practice skipping with her transformed hair. But it's not enough to succeed. She still has to film herself, and as she points out, it is far from being an easy matter. She has to adjust several parameters and choose the best angle. Finally, she fulfilled the mission she had set for herself, and the success she achieved was surely beyond her expectations. Indeed, thanks to this feat achieved in Abidjan, she entered the Guinness Book of World Records in 2021 as the person who has done the most skipping with her own hair. Parkour, this well-known acrobatic discipline, has become very popular, and the followers of this hobby, called tracers, are becoming more and more numerous and more inventive. If you don't know it, parkour consists in overcoming all kinds of obstacles with fast and acrobatic movements. But the man we are going to introduce you to is not an ordinary tracer. Indeed, he has an elephant as an auxiliary, and the trick he will perform is worthy of the great circus artists. In the middle of nowhere, the tracer and the elephant are standing in front of each other. When the tracer takes off, the elephant is on its belly and the trunk of the animal, intended to be used as a lever by the acrobat, is extended on the grass. The man places himself on the trunk, and immediately the elephant rises. But the tracer, far from losing his balance, makes an acrobatic jump that is very beautiful to see and lands perfectly on the back of the animal that had started walking. The other side of the coin, however, is that this elephant, accomplice of his master and joyful in appearance, perhaps had to undergo the bad treatments which often accompany the training of these majestic pachyderms. Perhaps the trainer and his elephant have a real bond of affection towards each other. That's what we all would like to believe. Will we see more impressive and less brief challenges from this acrobat in the future? We hope so, for our greatest pleasure. It is often very pleasant to practice hobbies with your pet. These are the experiences that strengthen the bond of attachment between the master and the animal, and the young man you are about to see is well aware of this, as his dog follows him on all his recreational adventures. This man loves surfing as much as he loves the company of his golden retriever, and he wanted his golden retriever to enjoy the sport as much as he did. It's something you don't usually see, but it's not as rare as you might think. It is enough that the master knows how to prepare his dog for such an experience, and to accustom him to it in the right way. Our surfer succeeded only too well. We see him sitting quietly on a chair at the back of the motorized surfboard, reading a magazine, while the golden retriever is lying in front of him, perfectly serene. To get his dog to be so calm, he must have spent more than a day with his beloved Pooch, even though golden retrievers are not usually known for being afraid of water. However, this leisure activity being unusual for him, he still has to learn to adapt to it. We would have liked the sequence to be longer because we never tire of watching this sweet agreement between the surfer and his golden. To see the reactions of the animals in front of a pleasant and curious event is always pleasant. This is what we will discover in these images, filmed in zoos and where we see several people trying to provoke funny reactions in monkeys through the glass of their enclosure. To do this, these people use some rather elementary magic tricks, and the spectators beyond the glass do not miss the call. Chimpanzees, orangutans, macaques appear in turn in these images, attentive to the conjurer's tricks. It should be noted that this type of experiment is sometimes performed by scientists in order to better understand the psychic faculties of the animal. Tricks of the trade, which deviate from the expectations of the observing animal and create a surprise effect in him, which manifests itself in a variable way, inform the specialists. In these sequences, the monkeys have adorable reactions, and their very expressive mimics resemble those of humans. Before the magic trick, they wait, looking attentive or distracted, or they yawn. But it's much funnier when the trick is done. The illusioned monkey does not remain indifferent. Some of them clearly show their surprise, and the interest they show is so lively that it seems that they want to see the trick that has just impressed them again, while the others seem to be taken by laughter. In the last sequence, a young German magician named Simon Piero tests the receptivity of a chimpanzee with his iPad. The monkey takes a lot of pleasure, his reactions are joyful and spontaneous, and he is finally rewarded with a batch of peanuts. These facial expressions are really entertaining, especially since a small child could have had exactly the same reactions. This is without a doubt the cutest video you will ever see. It's a little monkey dressed in striped overalls, sitting next to a ginger cat on a little shelf. This little monkey is tasting with a spoon a yogurt pot placed between his two legs. He licks the spoon for a long time, as a peanut butter lover would do. He makes the pleasure last, licks himself and his lips, shakes the spoon under the cat's nose. The cat finds the food to his liking and wants to help himself directly from the pot, but the little monkey doesn't want to share his snack. He pushes him away. And as if to apologize, look at what he does. He kisses the cat on the nose, and after this gesture of reconciliation, the two adorable creatures share their meal. There will be less for the little monkey because the cat swallows greedily the contents of the pot. But it does not matter. Sharing is better than satiating. Once their bellies are full, Bibi and Odie, that's their name, will frolic together, and really nothing is more pleasant to watch. They tease each other, chase each other, hug each other, and run away from each other. In short, their relationship is that of two creatures closely attached to each other, and we would spend several hours watching them, so cute they are. Aitana and Paula Echevarria are two young twins who radiate beauty and who, through their various artistic talents, have become adored by a large public in Spain. They are known as the Twin Melody. Their rise to fame has been rapid, and they have become role models for young girls. When they were still children, they dreamed of having the destiny they have now. And if they have gone from a deep anonymity to the great popularity they enjoy, it is not simply by showing off their attractions. Aitana and Paula are 23 years old and of Basque origin, and they live with their parents in Ordizia, northern Spain. Early on, these two twins tried to make a name for themselves on the YouTube platform by doing choreographies and covers of hit songs. And they succeeded, acquiring a small, curious, and benevolent audience. It was their first step towards fame. With the emergence and growth of other social networking platforms, the opportunities to increase their popularity multiplied for them. Aitana and Paula adapted very quickly and especially managed to take advantage of the TikTok application. Today, they have about 14 million subscribers and are guests on famous Spanish talk shows, such as La Resistencia or El Hormiguero. In this last show, the presenter was so admiring of the potential of these two twins that he proposed them a lasting collaboration. Paula and Aitana, besides being talented, lead a surprisingly simple and orderly life. They believe in God, they don't drink or smoke, and they are studious and multilingual. In fact, they speak Spanish, Basque, English, and French. And if they are now today influencers, actresses, musicians, and dancers by passing inclination, their real ambition is to become later teachers because they love children. Paula and Aitana, as you have just seen, have common sense and do not let themselves be spoiled by their enormous success. And if the future smiles on them, they will be able to reconcile their artistic creations with the profession of teachers. They continue to enchant and delight their public and all the collaborators who have the chance to approach them. That's the end of this video, which we hope you found soothing. Feel free, as usual, to leave your impressions in the comments section and tell us which of these moments you liked best. Do you like this video? Then don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you won't miss any of our next publications.